The sun peeked over the rooftops, painting the sky with soft orange and pink. The morning air was fresh and full of little sounds, birds chirping, leaves rustling, and far-off bells ringing. It felt like the whole town was waking up with a smile. Inside a cozy blue house, a little girl named Dyna bounced out the door. Her bright orange dress swished as she skipped down the front steps. She carried a small backpack, and it wiggled and jiggled every time she moved. "Good morning, Sophie," Dyna shouted happily as she ran toward her best friend. Just down the street, Sophie was waiting. She wore a green dress that sparkled in the sunshine. Sophie clapped her hands and waved. "Good morning, Dyna," Sophie called back. "Guess what we're learning today? The letter B." Dyna's eyes lit up. "The letter B!" she gasped. Before Sophie could answer, there was a swirl of golden sparkles near her shoe. Out popped a tiny, wiggly creature, Wormy the Word Worm. Wormy had big round glasses perched on his nose, a shiny bow tie under his chin, and the happiest smile you'd ever see. "Beautiful morning, my friends." Wormy cheered with a wriggle and a wiggle. His glasses glowed in the sunlight, and his little bow tie twinkled like a star. "Are you ready for a brand new alphabet adventure?" "Yes!" Dyna clapped her hands. "Yesterday we learned A. A is for apple, alligator, adventure, and amazing. What about B?" Sophie nodded, Wormy's pigtails bouncing, full of excitement. "Let's go on a bee adventure!" With a magical whoosh, the gray sidewalk began to sparkle. It shimmered and shook until it turned into a glowing golden path. This was no ordinary path. This was the alphabet walk. Dyna gasped. "It's magic!" The golden path stretched and stretched, leading into a bright, wonderful world. The trees grew taller and taller, their branches heavy with big yellow bananas. The bushes sparkled with round blueberries. Butterflies with wings shaped like the letter B fluttered all around, dancing in the air. "Wow!" Sophie whispered. "It's like the whole world starts with B." From behind a blueberry bush, a friendly brown bear popped out. He wore a little red scarf and carried a basket full of bread. "Bye-bye," the bear giggled. He balanced a bright blue ball on his nose. Dyna clapped. "A bear with bread and a ball. That's so many bees. Every word you learn makes your brain sparkle." Wormy reminded them. Tiny golden stars floated around Dyna's head and made her giggle. Sophie crouched low and whispered, "Let's sound it out together. Ba, ba, bee. Ba, ba, bee." Dyna repeated proudly, her eyes shining. The magical path kept glowing and growing, twisting like a ribbon. Soon, it revealed a big boat floating on a sparkling river made of bubbles. The bubbles popped with soft plinks and plonks, filling the air with rainbow sparkles. Wormy wriggled onto the boat and waved. "Next stop, the Bay of Bubbles." Sophie and Dyna laughed and hopped inside. The boat drifted gently down the bubble river, carrying them deeper into Sophie and Dyna's letter B adventure. From the end of the golden path, Sophie's mum, Lauren, waved with a kind smile. She wore a pretty blue dress and carried her handbag. "Learn well, my little stars," she called out. "I'll see you soon." The boat drifted away as Lauren's voice grew softer and softer. The river carried Sophie, Dyna, and Wormy into the Bay of Bubbles. Big bubbles floated everywhere. Some were big enough to sit inside. Sophie and Dyna shimmered in pink, purple, blue, and gold. Dyna pressed her face against one. "Look, Sophie, I can see my reflection. It's me in a bubble." Sophie giggled. "You're a bubble, Dyna." Suddenly, a butterfly landed on the bubble. Then another butterfly, then 10 more. The butterflies were shaped like the letter B, flapping their sparkly wings. "Butterfly," Sophie shouted. The butterflies danced in the air, swirling and twirling. Then pop! A bubble burst, and instead of water, out floated a basket. Inside the basket was a loaf of bread, a jar of blueberry jam, and a bottle of milk. B for basket, B for bread, B for blueberry jam, and B for bottle. Wormy sang happily, doing a wiggly dance. Yum, Dyna said. A bubble picnic. The boat floated on, past bubbles shaped like bunnies, bubbles shaped like balls, and bubbles shaped like buzzing bees. Buzz! The bees buzzed, zooming in and out of bubbles. But don't worry, these were friendly bees, smiling with tiny eyes and waving with their teeny tiny wings. Bees begin with B too, Sophie said, pointing. Yes, Wormy wriggled with excitement. B is for bee, and B says buzz. Buzz, 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 Dyna echoed, pretending to fly like a bee. After a while, the boat reached a bright blue bridge. The bridge was made of bricks, and it arched across the bubbly river. On top of the bridge sat a big, bouncy bunny, nibbling on a bunch of bananas. Hello, bunny, Sophie called. The bunny hopped up and down, making the bridge bounce and shake. Boing, 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 the bunny sang. Bunny begins with B, Dyna whispered. Banana begins with B too. Correct! Wormy cheered. And don't forget bridge begins with B. The bunny waved and bounced away, leaving the bridge safe and still. The boat floated under the bridge and into a wide bay. The bay of bubbles opened up before them, glittering in the sun. On the shore was a beautiful beach. Bright blue buckets and bold red beach balls were scattered in the sand. Children built big, tall sand castles with little flags on top. Beach, Sophie said. Bucket, they nodded. And ball, Wormy finished with a laugh. The boat floated gently to the sandy shore. Sophie and Dyna hopped out and ran barefoot into the warm sand. They picked up buckets and filled them with shells, shiny beads, and colorful buttons that had washed up on the beach. I found a blue button, Dyna said, holding it up. I found a brown bead, Sophie said. I found a bright bell. Wormy jingled it with his tail. They laughed and laughed, filling their buckets with as many bee treasures as they could find. After their beach adventure, the friends followed a path into a grassy field. The field was bursting with butterflies, bouncing balls, buzzing bees, and even a baby bluebird singing on a branch. Tweet, tweet, sang the bluebird. B is for bluebird, Sophie said. B is for baby. Dyna giggled because the bluebird looked very small and cute. The sun was beginning to dip lower in the sky, painting the world in soft gold. Wormy wriggled up high on a blade of grass and looked at his friends. You've done beautifully today, Wormy said kindly. Look how many bee words you've learned. Dyna spun in a circle. Banana, blueberry, bear, basket, bread, bunny, ball, beach, bucket, bead, bell, bluebird. Sophie clapped her hands. We did it! We know so many bee words. Wormy's glasses sparkled. And that makes your brains brighter and your hearts bigger. The golden path shimmered back into view, curling toward home. Sophie and Dyna followed it hand in hand, Wormy bouncing along beside them. When Sophie and Dyna reached the end of the path, Lauren was waiting. Lauren knelt down and opened her arms wide. My clever little stars, she said, hugging Sophie and smiling at Dyna. What did you learn today? Sophie grinned. The letter B, Dyna shouted proudly. B is for banana, bear, boat, basket, bunny, and so much more. Lauren kissed Sophie's forehead. That's wonderful. Tomorrow we'll bring another letter, another word, and another adventure. Wormy gave one last cheerful wiggle. B, bravo, my friends. See you tomorrow for the letter C. And with that, the sun set over the rooftops, painting the sky with soft purple and pink. The alphabet walk had ended for today, but Sophie, Dyna, and Wormy knew more magical letters were waiting for them tomorrow.